See, yeah, now it'll actually say the Fathom King's Hold. I don't know how we came here before and did not discover that label, but moving on. Now, see, I'd like to go out to the other shroom and Estival, but the problem is, because we were carrying those 5 freaking casks of wine, and we found... I'm sorry, I'm just going to pause to make sure it's not, you know, like hunger isn't ticking along. But because we had to carry those 5 casks of wine, and we kept finding a freaking ton of supplies, we don't have as much fuel left as I would like. Now, granted... You could argue that we essentially probably have about easily 3 more barrels worth of fuel, just, you know, converting 2 crates of supplies over to 1 barrel of fuel, but that's a really bad conversion as far as, like, money goes and all that. So I'm thinking for the time being, we're going to nix that part of the plan. And we're going to just come on back this way. We didn't go to the Isle of Cats, so we can grab a port report from them. We could also theoretically go down to Adam's Way. No, I think we're going to do Isle of Cats, Port Carnelian. Port Carnelian's a good spot to buy fuel. I mean, yeah, obviously the Iron Republic is better, but it's further out of the way. So, we're going to go to the Isle of Cats, Port Carnelian, figure out how much room we can make in the hold. We may end up just selling some supplies in Port Carnelian if we have to. Wow, we've been running into a lot of pirates, and this is the second time we've run into the pirate poet on this trip, so here we are. Really wish you'd give us fuel, but here's hoping we can just sell some crates in Port Carnelian, because we do not need 18 supplies. It will take us ages and ages to eat through that. And we simply do not have the cargo space. Again? How did you get another ship that fast? How? This is the 3rd one this trip. I mean, I'm not complaining. You give me money every time. It's not just fuel and supplies, but... Yeah, I've noticed she doesn't seem to spawn in the northern seas very much. But you come down to this part of the map and it can get downright comical. Okay, yeah, the echoes are just random. It's not based on time because we just got 400, even though we literally just beat her, so. Oh, hey, saves us from having to buy a thing of coffee for trading for the Parabola lemon. Apparently there's something over there, but I can't tell what. It's in a fog bank, and I'm not digging with that. And once again, we arrive here with just not enough hold space free to give a crewman to the bees. And I mean, I don't need it to be all 10 spaces free. If we rolled in here with like 8 or 9 spaces free, I'd probably just do it at this point. But, yeah, we only... And that was before we used a barrel of fuel. Even now we only have 6 spaces free, and they're about to eat, and it's like maybe if we rolled in like right now with 7 spaces I would have, but seriously, if you try to sell supplies here, you get nothing for them. Great, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else to sell those. That is deeply irritating, and basically means I can't do anything else here besides just buy like a barrel of fuel and leave, so that we can make it to the Iron Republic to try to jam more fuel into this very overfuel hold. I'm seriously gonna have to go to freaking Abbey Rock just to sell supplies. Yeah, yes, I am. We are. Gonna stop by the Melting Isles, and then the Iron Republic, and then I guess we're heading up to Abbey Rock. And at that point, we're probably just gonna go to London to turn in some port reports. At least we got the Fathom King Hold feast out of the way, so that we don't have to carry around a crap ton of wine, because... well, we have room to pick up a passenger this time. Please be the person wanting to go to Gators. Of course not. Well, we needed to go to Port Cecil at some point anyway. Got one lucky string of just repeatedly being the person wanting to go to Gators Morn, and we got a string of easy passenger runs a few episodes back, but ever since then, it's been a pretty even mix which one I'll get. So, once again, we're going to limp into the Iron Republic on our last barrel of fuel. Okay, buy the fuel first. Trust me, I remember that. Ooh, gained pages that time. Okay, so you can't just buy the fuel first because normally the port report will open up a different shop. So you basically, it seems like the game just sort of forces you to decide. If you decide to buy things from here and then you do your port report, screw you, I guess. So if you're, I guess it just depends how desperate for fuel are you. I still think it's really effing stupid that one of the shops, and only one of them, screws with the fuel price. But whoever came up with that one, kindly go step on a few dozen Legos. Well, I suppose we may as well grab the command canal report, because why not? Because we need to head up towards Abbey Rock to sell these supplies. Then we're just going to pop into London again. The problem is we weren't even able to buy what we needed when we were in Port Carnelian, so we're still going to have to head back down here in the near future. Probably before we do very much else. But I suppose we might actually be able to just turn it into a trip where it's like, okay, we go to Port Carnelian and then we go out to the outer shroom and all that. So, there's that. Alright, yeah, we actually needed to get Admiralty information from here, so hey. Row out and meet a contact at the foot of the Albertine Gates. The password is The Empire Remembers. That's not a very good password, guys. In the shadow of the gates, a deeply tanned vagabond waits in a jolly boat. His clothes are ragged and his face is filthy, but his voice and manners are educated. You are not good at your disguise. His message is a string of numbers and the names of 7 towns in Essex. Shropshire, Cumbria. He insists that you repeat it back to him 3 times. He will not allow you to commit it to paper. More supplies. Well, more things to sell. I'm already going to the Abbey to sell supplies, so at this point I'm just like, yeah, screw it, 5 more to sell. I essentially got 100 echoes. But yeah, the more I'm playing this, it's like a self-sufficiency run. It would very much come down to like what your random rolls were for, you know, fuel and supplies. Do you get what you need when you need it? And it also begs the question of what the hell do you even do with the other stuff you find? Like, are you allowed to sell it, or can you only use it for quest stuff? And the hold size would be a major problem. Okay, well, they want a strange catch or Scintillac. We're gonna sell them supplies first, or we need to get rid of some of these. Yeah, actually, we can do this. This will get us some Scintillac. We'll probably just sell this one because we need to go to Port Cecil anyway, but this is a profit. 1 strange catch for 1 Scintillac. We needed to go get more strange catches anyway, so I'm not overly plussed about losing this one. They're about to eat one, so that'll leave us with 10 crates of supplies, which is probably, honestly, a bit more than I should be wandering off with, but for anyone wondering, we'll obviously go out to Demure Island to get another Sooth and Cooper long box, but that's probably going to be when we're, like, on our way up into this part of the map, or out to this part of the map. Like, it's going to be when we're on our way in this direction to get more strange catches. For now, we're going to return to London, hand in our port reports, which will also get us fuel, which is nice, and figure out what we're doing, which is probably going to be attempting to go to Port Carnelian again. Turned in port reports and sold the 1 Scintillac that we got from Abbey Rock. So, kept the coffee and the parabola linen because we want that to make clothes and to trade for more parabola linen to make clothes. So let's see. We still need to go to Port Carnelian because we need sapphires and we need more coffee. If it was just the coffee, I'd probably go to Consart, but it's not. So we need to go there. Grab more port reports because we just turned all ours in. We can grab more again. So, Mutton Island, Gator's Morn, Melting Isles. We're taking the flea version of this time. I would rather not lose 4 crew again. Keep hoping we'll get actually one of the good events, and we keep getting stuck with that one. It's like to the point where it's like I almost don't want to explore the Morn anymore. So yeah, if I see that one again before I see at least something else, then I'm going to assume it's either gotten stuck due to a bug, or we've just hit that point where this captain has been going long enough that maybe some of the more beneficial events are being removed from the pool or something. Alright, in this case, I think I'm going to compile the port report first and just see what shop opens up, because worst case, I can go to Port Carnelian for fuel. Okay, we went from gaining stats again, so that's helped balance things out. Okay, and no new market. Maybe I'm wrong and I've just completely remembered how new markets are supposed to freaking open. But in this case, we're just going to buy as much fuel as we can jam in the hold. In this case, this should be a good spot to stop and transform the ship because it's in a lit spot near the shore, which means terror doesn't go up even though I turned our light off. Yeah, how fast terror goes up, it depends on how far. If you're far away from land, if you're close to land, it's better. If you're further away, like even, it doesn't have to be very far at all. You have to be very close to shore for that to help. But being close to shore helps. Obviously having the ship's light on helps, and then being in an outside source of light like those light beacons also helps. If you've been wondering why sometimes you see me like weaving for the white beacons a little bit if they're vaguely on the path, that's why. Alright, let's see what this one is. An Abyss of Scriptures. This is the one of greeting, I believe. So, yeah, we don't need to do scriptures, pyres, or pomegranates. We need graves. And if there's another type, and the only reason I say if there's another type is because I've not seen another type, but there are 5 stats, which makes me think there's probably 5 types. I don't know. But this is not the one we need. Oh, I think that might be food. And you know, if it's free. Oh, torpedo parts. Well, they don't take up hold space. Maybe we'll eventually use them or need them for something. Very, very rarely they do come up as like things you need for events. And you know, if we're going to come down this far south, we may as well visit the Grand Geode for the port report, because why not? So far, if we wanted to sell the Memento Mori, the thing that the weapon the Irrepressible Cannoneer made for us, then the Iron Republic, come on, I see stuff, give me the stuff. The Iron Republic would be willing to buy it, the Khanate would be willing to buy it, London would be willing to buy it at like the worst price. Like, I guess do that if you're like a real Londoner patriot, because they don't give you jack for it compared to the other deals. Although I suppose improving London's position might have other beneficial effects further down the line. So I mean, there's that. What is that thing? Well, sighted dawn fluke. Okay, when we have a better ship, we'll come back and take a look at that, because I am curious, but I'm not suicidal. Not today, anyway. And then, yeah, these guys will also buy it, is what I was getting around to. The gratitude of the machine does draw my interest there, like what that means. Like, honestly, it's less about the rewards in my case. Like, I don't really want to give it to the Iron Republic or the Khanate. They give, like, the best material rewards, but I feel like giving them more power would have negative long-term effects for us. However, the gratitude of the machine catches my interest, and obviously the gratitude of London does catch my interest, even though 1,000 echoes for this thing is terrible compared to what everyone else is willing to pay for it. It's just, the thing is I kind of want to keep it myself, so I don't know. Because, yeah, if you're curious what an element of Dawn, which is one of the things that we would normally get, it's like a Judgment's Egg, the best price we found for that otherwise is essentially 10 secrets, so... That's the Judgment's Egg part of this deal, is essentially 10 secrets. 1,000 echoes, Gratitude of the machine does catch my interest. Element of Dawn, though, what we would normally need to pay for that is a Vital Intelligence. That's the thing I was holding on to Vital Intelligence for, was in case we ever needed one of these. And 50 supplies. It also says 7 crew. I don't know if the crew are consumed by this or not. I'm not certain. So, yeah, here, that's where I found that information good. I don't need to go scrub the 13 hours of footage specifically looking for it, although I'm sure I talked about it at the time. We need to take out the Eater of Names. Yeah, that's what we need that figure fed toward. And yeah, a Dread Surmise can be assembled by the Alarming Scholar from 7 Searing Enigmas, and I think they can only do it once. But we'll figure that out later. Definitely not doing it now, but just to give you some idea of, like, what that element of Dawn is worth. It's worth Vital Intelligence and 50 supplies. But, you know, it's possible to get these things other ways. We don't need to give them our gun for it. The Khanate, I believe, was giving 3 captivating treasures, and I can't remember what the Iron Republic was going to give us. I'm sure we'll visit the Iron Republic again at some point for fuel, and we'll check then. But I don't remember... I remember this one being like the one with the stuff that was arguably the hardest to get. It would, if we gave any one faction the gun, though, the Memento Mori, I think it would be less about the rewards we were getting and more about shifting the balance of power with the factions and seeing what that led to. It's just, I also would really like to keep it. So, we'll see.